Hello, hello, hello. I am streaming. Let's see. Let's see if it's working. Here we have YouTube, and I also have X. All right, great. YouTube is working. We'll keep that tab there, and then let's try X. And see, I will have to figure out my chat here. Oh yeah, okay, cool. All right, we are live on X as well. Great. So let's see. Here's my chat. Hello. And I can share this, I guess. Post this, yes. News from the past 2. All right, great. So let's see. Let me show you some books I've gotten recently. This is Strong Medicine by Blake F. Donaldson. This is a classic book in the carnivore diet space. It's on justmeat.co, and I actually read it as a PDF several years ago. And I never really put the individual parts of it into my database. So I'm thinking I might do that again, and I started rereading it. And I have even started to use the red pen to pick out the most interesting stuff. So I might figure out how to set up a camera and look at the book a little more carefully, or I might read out some quotes here. But this essentially is about a doctor that starts prescribing like a meat and starch diet to obese people in the 1940s, 30s. And he then meets with Dr. Biljamar Stephenson. And Stephenson is like, you could just try an all meat diet of only meat. And so this Dr. Donaldson tries that out and gets better results. So he does like a little research. He goes to the local American Museum of Natural History in New York and is like, well, let me see some skulls. And he's like, wow, these teeth look great. So maybe their all meat diet that they were eating up there kept them pretty healthy. So yeah, this book is just kind of his rationale for that, and then his particular experience in treating obesity, and then some other illnesses like allergy and the parts of like things that come with obesity, kind of. Which, let's see, vulnerable blood vessels, skin, allergy, high blood pressure, hardening of the arteries, diabetes, osteoarthritis. So maybe I'll do a particular video directly on this book. I know I know it's been out in the carnivore sphere for a long time, but I wanted a physical copy. I collect all this carnivore literature. And then yesterday I was at the antique store, and they have a nice book section. So I found this for just $6. And it's the complete book of meat with recipes, charts, drawings, and 84 photographs. So this has really no scientific value, but I do just kind of love these old books, and you can find them for $6. And it's just kind of fun to have. Kind of see like a unique view. Um, and this book is from 1963, I think. Let's see. Yeah, 1963. Just black and white. Um, how to broil your porterhouse, and cool thing like that. So finally found this book, Ancient Men of the Arctic. So perfect. I have a ton of books on the Inuit, or you may know them as the Eskimos, because they basically had to do a full-on carnivore diet. So here we got Thule. These are ancient Inuit a few thousand years ago up in Greenland. Probably more whale hunters. So Inuit are interesting. They probably were able to hunt the largest whales available, and then kind of went down in species size as certain species died out or became inaccessible. So very cool book here. I'm sure this will just be packed full of fun history that I can add to my database. That's kind of how I view my book hobby. I'm like always looking for anecdotes I can find, that books that are out of print or out of searchable range, and see what the heck is in them. Yeah, here's a thing about Peter Fruchin. So I have one of his books. Yeah, the Fifth Thule Expedition to North Canada, 1921 to 1924. See whalebone and earth right there. So I have so many of these books though, and I need to read them all and catalog them. All right, so let's see if I've had. Oh, Jorma A is here in the YouTube chat. What's up, Jorma A? Nice amount of books. I'm the guy that spoke to you on Reddit. Yeah, hey, what's up? Which guy on Reddit? I know a few. So I'm gonna go through some science in a bit. And let's see. Any other books you want to see, Jorma? Do you? I have all of them back here. And one day, well, I have videos where I put them all on my floor and took camera or videos and pictures. But I do need to either show those videos and make that video as like a nice complete finished thing, or just show them off all live, which would be kind of crazy because I have 250, I think I counted recently, 241, something like that. Just added 3 more, and then I always have 1 or 2 somewhere flying around the house. Let me check. No comments on X. Let's see. But my voice sounds really good, right? Okay, good. Um, so let me share. I was gonna share. Let's add new science that I haven't found in the last 2 weeks to my Zotero, and then we can go through it. So let's see. All right, great. So here is my Chrome tab, and this is my new megafauna database. And I have to remember I need to speak directly into the little microphone here. I'm using a Yeti Nano. If you want to get a mic yourself for streaming, it's like $100. I might eventually have to get a higher one or fix it or something because it's not perfect. And I do move my head a lot, so I realized when I rewatched it that there's some issues there. So let me show you quick this uh, database I've been making. And I thought there was like an integrated chat view in Restream. Oh, here's the chat. Yeah. Hey, Jorma. So, how does that? Oh, neat. Okay. Cool. So this is my megafauna database. I've been building this because I read this book on megafauna, which is somewhere around here. And oh, I actually might have a meeting to attend. Sorry, one sec. What is this? Oh, it's Friday. Okay, great. We are working on our fatty acid paper, so finishing putting the final touches on it. Might be able to look at that today too. So anyway, I've been making this megafauna database because I was curious on how large animals are, kind of, and how extinct they've gone, and how much biomass they used to have in the entire Earth. And I think we kind of forget that. Um, so I've been making basically a database of 350 animals. Actually, I guess 400 now. And this is now ranked by mass. So this is kilograms, and we have 50 kilograms small animals here: deer, caiman, moa, kangaroo, lemur, bonobo. And we can see extinction here. G means globally, so it was globally went extinct. And then here is my extinction date for years ago. So this upland moa might have went extinct only 600 years ago. This thylacine Tasmanian tiger went extinct 100 years ago. And, you can also sort by those. But generally, like the pattern is 40 to 50,000 years ago, you have the die-offs in Australia. 15 or 10 to 15,000 years ago, you have die-offs in South America and North America. Uh, e- uh, Africa doesn't really get die-offs because the species evolved with humans, and we're kind of like able to adapt to them and stay away. But humans basically adapted to hunting large megafauna. So um, you can see tons of gaps in here. I took this database from one site and then improved it, and used AI, and then added more. And I have all these terms for the like animal family classes, mammalia and birds class, reptiles. Don't really need to worry about amphibians. We don't really hunt them. It's really meant to be like a database of like animals that humans have preyed on. I have emoji, which kind of help see what's going on. So let's see the max mass here: ancient bison, gore, walrus, aurochs, which are extinct cattle. We have some rhinoceroses, giant buffalo, 2,000 kilograms, like 4,500 pounds. Giant or ground sloth, Nauman's elephant. This was on like a small island somewhere in Japan, I guess. Giant pig. I it was really tough to calculate some of these max mass. It's like you would look through old papers or search Wikipedia, and they would guesstimate. So, woolly rhinoceros, white rhinoceros, Asian elephant, uh, this diprotodon, ground sloth. So I mean, some of these went extinct like 2 million years ago, which I wanted to capture is kind of just like, yeah, humans have cut marks on those animals too. They eventually evolved into whatever species exists today, but it's cool to have them on the menu. Here we have the woolly mammoths, 8,000 kilograms. Now, I kind of added the whales as a joke, but there is some evidence of, people hunting these large whales. Definitely great evidence for small whales, but it kind of ruins the look of the conditional formatting if I have this. Um, if the max is 10,000, then oh yeah, stellar sea cow. I have some great stories in my database about this guy. Um, all right, so this is my megafauna database. Now my question is, do I find more wiki links, fill out the rest of these image links, or create my own AI art that represents the most interesting species, I guess? And then I have these extra columns that I'm kind of deciding whether to use. I'd like to use body fat percentage, or at least have like high, medium, low, um, geographic range, like population density estimates. There's a lot of things you can do now. And a lot of this would be possible with AI. So you can kind of ask it to build you a whole database based on just these columns, and it will find really, really close. I guess I could show you some. Yeah, like here, I asked it to make a list of 20 African species known to be hunted by human ancestors. Larger the better. Asked, do you want fossil evidence, ethnographic, both, Pleistocene, etc. So it's been 11 minutes. Made this list. It's really nice. Elephant, Elephas reki, early Loxodona. Also, elephants from Pleistocene Africa show clear butchery marks. At O'Lorge Saley, about 1 million years ago in Kenya, an elephant carcass was found cut marks on ribs, vertebrae, and a hyoid bone surrounded by stone tools, evidence that early humans dismembered and defleshed it. Earlier claims of elephant butchery at Olduvai 1.8 million years ago are debated, but by the Middle Pleistocene, there is firm evidence of hominin hunting and processing of elephant-sized prey. So elephant-sized means it could essentially eat anything else that's as big. Um, and if that was 1.8, maybe 1.5, definitely by one, humans were eating these large animals. So hippopotamus, probably pretty difficult to hunt these, but hungry people would have found a way. White rhinoceros, black rhinoceros, I learned through my megafauna database that one of these is much bigger. I think the white is bigger than the black. Yeah, so we have stone tool incisions, and the nice thing is it also provides links to everything. So I know a lot of these papers, unique hominid menu. We have giant giraffes, civatherium, cut marks. We have giant buffalo and giraffe. So now my question is like, how do I put this data into that megafauna database? So like, if I have multiple events over many millions of years of humans hunting an animal, do I want to show all of them at each particular time point? And then I'd have to have like multiple columns for each data point, because I want to make a new column for like the second one and the third one and the fourth one. If most of the times those are going to be empty. So, or I have to make like a whole linked database, which is possible, but then I'm like having repeatable events in human history. Then I can add every event, but and I can add every event, which is tough. Um, so yeah, let's just finish this list so you can see it all. Wildebeest, Parmularius, extinct large antelope. Okay, equids, African horse, zebra, equus. I guess there's a whole debate on equus and horses, and 46 fine parallel cut marks from stone tools indicating slicing of flesh from the bone. They show deliberate defleshing of meaty limb portions. So if you can imagine like the ligaments on that connect your flesh to the bones, there'd be specific spots that people would cut to loosen the rest of the meat and have as little left on the bone. So you would just check those areas if you find those parts of the bones in fossils, and then if the cut marks are there, then say like there's a high likelihood that humans made this. And also you wouldn't expect like a lion to be slicing the flesh off at that spot, or like a hyena eating like a carcass or something. They would eat the whole carcass. There wouldn't be any bones left. Um, so let's see, giant gelada baboon, crocodile. Yep, maybe. Be a tough thing to get. Have to be pretty desperate. Eland. These things are huge. Warthogs and giant hogs. That'd be pretty tasty. Bush pig, gazelle, camel, Rusin gorix, a strange wildebeest like bovid of the late Pleistocene around 50 to 70,000 years ago, with a dome-shaped nasal crest. That'd be cool. Waterbuck and reedbuck. Yeah, so 11 minutes, you can make that. And then I said, hey, why don't you make a shirt concept for me? So it made like this meat pyramid. Then I tried to make some shirt designs of this. By the way, I started a new Etsy store with some shirts as like a way to make money. I've only had one sale and probably won't talk about it much here, but if you're interested and you want to support me, you can swing by there. I guess in order to make money there, you kind of have to just keep making designs until one sells. So I only have like 13 designs right now. I might try and add one a day or kind of do it in sync with YouTube. But I have a lot of fun art ideas, and now with AI, I can kind of like imagine them right away without spending a bunch of time in Photoshop or Canva. But I mean, look at this. I was imagining putting this on a shirt, but there are some big problems. This head is missing. You don't know what these are. This is like a weird cheetah blob. owl head thing. Uh, I mean, I guess the crocodile's in the list. Yeah, it is, but maybe I should take it out. And then you would think like you want the elephants on the bottom. Uh, this is one swole lion. And also, I don't like how the giraffes point in. I would rather have them be like the other way. Uh, and it has these little platforms of dirt and stuff. So, but you can ask it to make little tweaks. So I made a comment and I was like, "What is this thing?" So probably gonna dump this design, but here are actually some better ones. I like this design. It's hippos and not too many inaccurate ones. I guess that could be a bird or but it's kind of like if I use this and then I want to make little changes, it's like tough. Um Here's another one, Pleistocene meat pyramid. Do a spoof on the food pyramid with a carnivore diet food pyramid. Um, Here it actually has a lot of the names, but AI is notoriously bad at like putting names in text, especially when you have like more than 10 letters or so. So, it messes the pyramid up or it like bonds the letters together. Oh, Jorma has a comment here. Let's see. Show. Oh, nice. All right. So those deep research features are insane. Yesterday I made some legit looking research papers that dismissed common wisdom for fun. Probably could publish them with a little cleanup and fixing. Yeah, I know, right? It's pretty amazing. I mean, like I wanted to make similar research or like I have like this huge database of all this stuff, right? So like it's like how do I make a cohesive theory? And eventually I want to just dump like 1,000 papers into like an AI thing and have it help spit out like a unique, unbiased like view of all the history and science that I can throw at it. But it's still not really there yet. And it's also tough because you don't know how AIs are made. You don't know what sources they have. Sometimes I ask it questions and I'm like, well, where'd you find that info? And it's like I'm not really sure, but I can't find like an actual link. um but yeah, I'm excited to see like, are we gonna get better science or just like a flood of bad science that AI kind of adds a little bit of help on top but doesn't do enough like new science, new linking together of ideas. um all right, so let's see, any other here. Oh, so another thing I thought about using AI for is Russian Arctic diet. So I have a ton of information on the diets of the Inuit, which is like more Canada and America, which had a lot of English speakers go up and write books about, like Vilgemar Stephenson. But if I can kind of get the other view, the Sami, the Nenit, the Russian speakers, kind of like the Linnaeuses of the world who went up and lived in like the early 1800s. And so far, I really haven't found like any like real evangelizers, kind of like Stephenson, who really came back and was like, I found something awesome back up there. And, this is something our people could use to shed fat and disease. Um, but it found some interesting links. This Russian anthropologist, and then it has to translate here. Traditional diet of sea mammal hunters included half kilo, so like a pound of meat and 160 grams of animal fat. So, oh, and here's a researcher in 1926. Oh, Oh, this is kind of perfect. Let's see. So I'm also wondering like how much fun, amazing information is in blogs that people like me, but have like done the same research over the years, made little blogs, and then kind of everyone forgot about them. Um, like there was this guy named the Bear, and he was like a forum. He posted a lot in forums on the early history of the carnivore diet, and then people are like, "Wow, we should actually like stick these together into like a single PDF or a book." So I think someone did that. Yeah. But there's probably a lot more of those people out there that just never had a Facebook group to post to that could spread it, save it. It's also like, how do I turn my database with 1,000 history entries on the carnivore diet into a book? Um, and then do people want to see the entire context of the source in, or the entire source in context, like a full quote, or just like the all meat diet part? Kind of to prove that it could be done, or like whatever help was helped. So, but that's a cool way I can finally kind of search other languages. I'm thinking of like where else has like civilized writing race like gone into like a tribal area and then learned their diet, which had their mind changed, and then wrote about it. Um, but I think I found most of them in history so far. A Nennet paradox. They eat reindeer meat, most of it raw and frozen. From September to May, they eat very little else apart from the odd piece of raw, preferably frozen fish. Yeah, this source is just meat. So I actually made this database. Did I? We like Michael Bitstein and I kind of put together these, and then I was like, let's make a better one. So I made this database. If you're not aware, and I also have a easier view here, but so it's a big list of tribes around the world that ate a lot of meat. I tried to quantify the hunting, fishing, and gathering percentage and the fat, protein, and carb, and first contact and meat data. And then if you like open one up, let's see, what's a good copper Eskimo? So first contact, you can put in the actual location, so that's pretty neat. Um, I guess I don't have any images here. But here's their diet. And then he even here, this is a Catholic priest, Roger Bouillard. He wrote this book, Enoch. Um, yeah, and so he lived up there with them. It's kind of cool when I read all the texts from the different Inuit like people over the different years, they kind of bled together, and you would be like, oh wow, I know that guy from that random little area in Hudson Bay. Um, and like you hear about them all over the years, so they're definitely backed up. And I think you can trust a lot of these historical anecdotes about all meat diets, which I think is like some of these claims, I guess, are some of the better attested we have. Even though they could be completely made up, but just generally a lot of surprise when people go up and try an all meat diet and don't think they can do it, and then they do it. Um, Here is actually an interesting thing. So these ground squirrels feed upon these masu roots, and they become very fat in the fall. So the probably have a linoleic acid or something in the roots, or starch. But so yeah, here they would eat some of these roots, I guess, but not all year and only a small amount. Um, so yeah, this database is packed full of these are all the sorted history entries that link to this particular tribe. So every tribe is like this. We got the Kung, Aboriginal Australians. I mean, all this data too is just like so piecemeal. It's hard to find. So I could really kind of use AI to improve my databases. That's actually a big question. How do I take like an incomplete database like this megafauna one with like empty things here and say, can AI make these changes, but in my program? So I'm not like copying it back out of AI and reformatting it into Google Docs. Um, or I know you can add Gemini here, but I don't know how well it works for some of that stuff. Um, all right, so let's see, what else should we talk about? So yeah, and once I finish this Excel sheet, I might try and finish up some of the extinction dates and whatnot. It's just so much easier to edit here in Excel or Google Sheets, and then I'll upload this as a database into my Wix, and then make particular pages for it, and add R and make filters for rank the extinction dates, or if it's not extinct or what. And even though it could help you understand the carnivore diet history, I guess, but also just kind of the voracious appetite of humans and how we've kind of destroyed many huge species over like the last 50,000 years. I don't know if we can only blame ourselves, but there's certainly a case we made for it. I even added these domestic species recently because it was like, well, maybe it'd be fun to understand when they started to replace the existing animals. There's a gap of a few thousand years there. Um, but yeah, I mean, like, it's funny how addicted to dinosaurs we are, kind of as a society. Like, I love showing dinosaurs to my son, and I'm wearing this T-Rex right now. But like, we had giant sloths dying out like 10,000 years ago, and all these huge animals that would have been so ferocious and scary. And I mean, I can understand why our ancestors were probably like, we don't want to live near these things, and like kind of exterminated them. But either they did that for fear or they're hungry, and the larger the animal, the higher fat it is. But this is kind of like a fun way to start my database. I could eventually add omega balances or fat, the high fat amounts, or understand the ease of hunting them, or be like, you could use persistence hunting to kill this thing, or a water trap around a water hole to trap an elephant, which makes it likely that 1.5 million years ago or something, our ancestors were able to make these simple traps, catch these giant animals, and feast for 2 months on like a single elephant. That's kind of like the idea of this whole hypercarnivore theory, that humans would have become smart enough to hunt giant animals, and then the balance of that flesh would have been high fat and lower protein than the small animals. And people wouldn't necessarily be like adding nuts and going out and finding salads and fruit to add to their big elephant. And also, you probably have like a rotten elephant after a few weeks. So and maybe that explains why we have super strong stomach acid and why maybe we can still digest that, and it would be like a cheesy meat, a high meat that wouldn't be very appetizing to us today, but you get super like I have lots of instances in my database of people loving high meat as carnivores. So they would like let fish become rotten and then months later eat it as frozen food, and it would be like delicious delicacy. Uh, Also, fermented seals and fermented birds in seals. There's all sorts of crazy ways they combined animals make delicious things in a land without plants and dairy. All right, let me show. Oh yeah, that's how we got there. So just meat and then my database. Yeah, so AI is pretty fun. I could probably just make a channel just posting or just trying out stuff on AI all day. It's kind of been my life like the last couple of months. So here's my new Meatrition design. This is for my subreddit r stop eating seed oils. I made this Tyrannosaurus Rex carnivore diet t-shirt, which I think looks pretty cool. I was like, I'm trying to work out on other uh, t-shirt designs and just having some fun with it. These are some of the favorite ones I made. So here's plant-based diet for the planet. So I thought it was funny, like you're plant-based, but really like the plants are industry-based. So I might work on some other like clear ways to display this, like more of like an industrial plant than like a whole planet taken over by machines. But could be a fun rebellious shirt for the summer. Um, and then here's my store. Here's all the shirts at once. So I made a Meatrition Facts, which is like a play on the Nutrition Facts label. Um, oh, don't edit that. Oh, I see. But yeah, so let's just go away. Oh, here's another shirt. These are Hateful Eight seed oils that we're supposed to avoid. So I thought, like, hey, if you keep forgetting, like, I'll just put it on a shirt and everyone can see then. Let's see. So we have this new article in the Daily Mail. I lost 300 pounds on a diet doctors warn against and without using Ozempic. Wow, look at this guy. Woohoo, wow, 270 pounds for 3 years. His vision restored, reduces bloating and IBS, clears acne. After dropping about 200 pounds, he was able to walk again, no longer needed supplemental oxygen. He said, my doctor wasn't happy. He just said, oh, I'm worried about your diet. That was the first time that guy had ever mentioned my diet when I was over 700 pounds on oxygen. Yeah, so that's this crazy thing about doctors. The only diet they fear is the high cholesterol diet. And you could be as sick as a dog, 700 pounds on oxygen about to die, and they don't care about your diet. And when your diet is causing you to be like that. A 2025 nutritional analysis. I don't think that's correct. This is probably our study from 2018. Oh, yep. High intake of saturated fat, causes the buildup of cholesterol, posing risk to cardiovascular health. I think that's false, but they basically have to say it at this point. Yep, Mr. Bognes is not convinced of the risk, though, and will keep on with the carnivore diet until he reaches his goal weight of 280 pounds, saying that the medical schools, all these companies that own all these drug companies, paid for all the epidemiology studies. Nice. Um, so I was going to add that. So let's see. I was thinking of adding some science to my database using Reddit to find links. Maybe we can also use the QXMT. This site is what I use on mobile to find science. And once it loads, sometimes it takes a double second here. Yeah. Yeah, it loaded them all. So these are all the keywords I follow. We got insulin resistance, zonulin, oxidative stress, high fat diet, NAFLD, acne, ketosis, beef, Paleolithic, lipid raft, ketogenic, carbohydrate, ketogenic diet, hominin, type 2 diabetes, IRF3, arachidonic acid, diet diabetes, human evolution, ketone bodies, low carb, red meat, paleoanthropology, ferroptosis, malon, dialdehyde, carnivore, linoleic, canola oil, carnivore diet, meat diabetes, seed oil, ochratoxin A, carnivorous, 4-HNE, animal source foods, peroxidation, soybean oil, meat-based, grass-fed, evolution diet, human, hunting, ethnography, facultative carnivore, evolution diet, homo, TTDDE, 2 arachidonal, glycerol, leukotoxin, 8 oxo-DG, which is guanine or guanine or something, animal-based, meat, lipids, nutrition, psychiatry, megafauna, butchering site, and EKODE. A lot of these, like, I don't really expect to get many science articles, but when you do get science articles, it's like super fun. So let me show carnivore diet. Oops, the carnivore one has tons of science on like actual like carnivores like running around Europe and stuff, or fish. So it's interesting. You get so much interesting science I don't normally see in nutrition circles, and you become much more of like a like wild carnivore feces in the Apuan Alps. Oh, this is like a tapeworm, I guess, which actually does have, there are ways to link wild carnivores to human carnivores. So, but I thought this was interesting. This is Dr. Tro's new article. Oh wow, Nina is in it. Laura Buchanan, Matthew Calkins, Tro, Kalasian, Nicholas G. Norwis, Nina Teichels, David Unwin, and Adrian Sotomoda. If you haven't seen this study yet, it's great. Cost, scalability, and durability represent major challenges to the implementation of intensive lifestyle treatments for obesity and diabetes. We previously reported pilot data from a 6-month intervention in which a self-insured manufacturing company partnered with a metabolic health clinic that utilizes therapeutic carbohydrate reduction TCR. So basically a low carb diet, asynchronous monitoring, which means you get time-based monitoring, and a community-based approach to treat employees with metabolic disease. This manuscript presents weight loss and cost savings from deprescription at the 12-month time point, so a year. Okay, so they eventually got 50 employees and, with a mean weight of 43, so like very highly sick people. I think this was 50 employees out of like 5,000. And they put them basically on a keto carnivore diet. And I was surprised to see this paper come up under carnivore diet. Um, so let's see, show additional links. Here's the paper. Oh, it actually just downloaded. Oh, and the keyword does have carnivore diet in it. So I guess I'm putting it in my carnivore diet database. Um, but I wanted to get further confirmation. It's the only usage in the whole paper, just the keyword. Meat, fat, dietary fat. So really, yeah, they don't specifically say carnivore diet, but I guess it's kind of implied. When you do 30 grams a day or less, like essentially a carnivore diet. Okay, so all patients are instructed to reduce total carbs to fewer than 30 grams and advised not to count carbohydrates from non-starchy vegetables or leafy greens to maintain nutritional ketosis. In this context, patients were also encouraged to eat according to their subjective hunger and experiment with intermittent fasting patterns. I mean, it doesn't take much. Yeah, so here's the 5,000 employees. Of that, only 200 were interested, 50 were selected, so a quarter of the interested ones. And then you had 9 dropouts, which is typical. You might expect all these like didn't like the diet, but really only 5 were. One had family reasons, 3 quit. So 5 out of 50, 10%. You can kind of expect that. And sometimes not just the diet, it's like everything. It's like following the app or, putting in data every day, and people just get overwhelmed really easily. Jorma has a new comment here. Let's see here. Have you seen those crazy conspiracies that all in the carnivore diet secretly eat vitamin C? Even our top professor said you will get scurvy. Um, no, I haven't seen it. I mean, like, we have vegans that eat on the carnivore diet a lot, and they'll say that. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if people eat or having like energy drinks left and right, and then there's vitamin C in that. I definitely have those every once in a while. But the short end of this of the argument is that meat has 10 milligrams of vitamin C per serving, or like 100 grams. So if you're eating 2 pounds a day, that's actually quite a bit. And then there's only like a 10 milligram requirement daily based on these old starvation studies from Cahill, I think. So they like figured out the minimum required vitamin C that you need, and it's pretty low. But the main problem is that the nutrition database of the USDA just says zero vitamin C whatsoever. They didn't even measure it. They just assumed it. So that's wrong. And if we go through your mind database, we can also see tons of scurvy um, links here. Let me show you that. Scurvy is actually a great keyword for finding discussion of all meat diets. I even have a topic here, so 1771. One thing I couldn't figure out on my site is how to like highlight words as well. So they didn't really understand why scurvy was happening, but they basically said, well, these people never eat vegetables and don't get scurvy, so it can't be something unique to vegetables. Um, Here being fat was the harbinger of scurvy, so maybe it would be like too many plant foods and then you get scurvy. You're not eating enough fresh meat. Different way to put it, since you might not have like citrus back then. This was 1792. So, Dr. Beddoes. So he's talking about these Tartars of the Obi ravenously devour their frozen fish raw, esteeming them a preservative against the scurvy. So, and then we have Rollo, famous. Oh yeah, we have this quote from this baron in Napoleon's Grand Army who was under siege, and he was feeding horses to fix the scorbutic epidemic of scurvy. That that's the only text I added to this, just so I could help search it. Um, yeah, so you won't find a better scurvy database out there, and but my database is actually really bad for recent stuff. Recent science doesn't have much because it's not really like a historical event at that point. I mean, it will be. Everything is, but here, scurvy cured 10 milligrams Sheffield Krebs. The experiment with doses of vitamin C to determine minimum requirement to avoid scurvy. The researchers supplemented 10 mg per day in their trials. They found that the 10 mg amount was sufficient not only to prevent scurvy, but also to reverse scurvy. Okay. 3.2 mg daily, and even that was enough to prevent scurvy. All right, so we might even need less. So pretty cool. It also might not even be like vitamin C. It could be like the collagen, is it? Um, but yeah, seems like meat cures scurvy, prevents it. It has to be fresh. It can't be overcooked. Here, this guy, Fred Bromer, had misgivings about living on meat alone. It was not what my culture considered a balanced diet. All right, so Jorma says that conspiracy was a new one for me too. It comes from some vegan circles. Found it on a forum discussing the diet. Everyone just kept repeating it and not believing we aren't popping pills. Yeah, I mean, I hope I debunked the conspiracy there. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if people are not really taking pills, but like even just adding supplementary like multivitamins. There's no reason to be like afraid of them either. And if it's what will get you over the hump to try a carnivore diet, like then then do it. It's worth it at that point. Um, oh yeah, so that's like 40 entries on scurvy from the last 300 years. All right, so let's go back. So this is our study that we were talking about. Doesn't seem like any of these people got scurvy. They just spent considerably less money on drugs. Uh, change in body weight. So I guess they had a few patients here on semaglutides, GLP ones, and their weights kept going down. So these blue ones are toward in step 1 and step 2. Weight loss threshold comparison. Yeah, so I think the carnivore diet, like they never really said it, but they just use it as a keyword. So it's fun, but Norwitz is talking about carnivore now, and everyone kind of is in this camp. So it's about at some point we're just gonna say like, yeah, all keto science is basically carnivore science. How much does the fiber really matter? Um, all right, so let's find some more science. Here's Gizmodo. This is going to be new. February 26, 2025. Okay. Here's the study link. Let's go. Let's just go straight to that. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Testing the waters, plant working and seafaring in Pleistocene Wallachia. Prehistoric plant working. Where? Island, Southeast Asia. Boat building. Yeah, so like a long time ago, the water was lower, sea level was lower and exposed land, but then still probably needed a way to go across the sea. I guess this is about early boats. When you Science Direct is a website that hosts a lot of science, but it only shows like the first couple sentences and then it trails off. And I don't really have access anymore, so. But I don't know. This is kind of cool. Using plants to build boats. What kind of evidence would you expect to find? Um, all right, we got one upvote. Oh, this guy, I messaged him on Reddit. He's pretty nice. And he's been going through the megafauna overkill hypothesis really well. So Tony is his name. He just published this and I got to see it early on, but I didn't completely read it all. But this first blog is about, he's like debunking possible arguments that climate change could have caused the extinction of the megafauna in the Americas. And got some nice graphs here, some age, large mammals, all sites, dry forest. And then his second blog, I guess, is on why humans probably caused it. Oh, this is neat. Look at South America versus Africa. Striking fact is that not a single species of mega mammal animal weighing over 1,000 kilograms survived in the Americas, from Patagonia to the Arctic. American mega mammals belong to diverse groupings such as proboscideans, or elephants, giant ground sloths, and glyptodonts, which are like these large shelled armadillos. This weight class includes species with a wide range of habitats and diets, making it hard to see how they should have been so susceptible to a typical glacial interglacial transition. So basically, like the climate change was experienced over many times, and a lot of these species were able to adapt. But then at some point, they weren't able to adapt to the new climate change. And the question is, like, is it because of the climate, or is it because of humans overhunting them? Yeah, and here's another argument, like how they can't create a lot of babies in time. So, I could probably do a whole video just reading this, but I'll just let you know it exists. And it's here on Meatropology, my subreddit. And then he has a second one here too, and I have it pinned at the top, so it's right up here. These two. Let's look at this second one. I barely looked at it. Prehistoricpassage.com. Paleo Indians and projectile points. All right, so we have alleged evidence in the Americas of people 20,000 years ago. And here you can see the whole Arctic, which is pretty cool. So you had people, yeah, living in North Europe here, and then North Russia, and then they were able to basically commute across this sea ice or over this land bridge, and then down this ice sheet, and then into America. Oh, nice. Peat region glaciers. Okay. So yeah, this is Alaska. This is the Aleut Island chain, and then like Washington and Vancouver right there. And then so people could basically go up and then all the way around and then all the way down, all the way into South America. So pretty cool. All right. So evidence of human predation on megafauna. So Clovis points were like these arrows that took most of the credit. And they were like 11,000 years ago. So most people thought like we only had Native Americans 11,000 years ago and maybe like 1,000 years earlier, but not much longer. But here, now I think it's pushed back more to like 2,000 years ago. I live in Utah. This Montana site is close by, Antic One. I actually looked it up on Google Maps. Just curious. And yeah, this new paper basically said humans are mostly a mammoth hunters, mammoth specialists. Yeah, isotopes suggest. So they did. They had this baby's bones or teeth, and they looked at the baby's bones, and then they estimated the mother's uh, amount of isotopes without even seeing the mother. And then they guesstimated her maternal diet, and then they said, "Wow, it's up there with this Homotherium, which is like a saber-toothed cat, and then all these other dogs and cats that are mega megafauna specialists, basically." Then you have mammoth there, rangifer, which I think is reindeer, and ovis, which is like goat or sheep, bison, camelops, camels. And then your small mammals are really low. So these things were eating these things, and if you're higher up, you are eating more of these things than the other things. Um, Neat. Let's see. Wavefront model of overkill. Huh. Yeah. So, like, how did these people get across the Americas? Did they kill everything they came across, or did they coexist with them for a few thousand years? I'm guessing that's kind of what this article is talking about. Look at this. So neat. All right, so 16,000 years ago, Paisley Caves, Cooper's Ferry, Schaefer and Hebior. Yeah, so there's all these different ways to explain how humans move up and down. Um, let's just get to the bottom of this. So lots of text. You could read this all, but that's over at prehistoricpassage.com. Here's the link. If you're watching later, I'm putting in the YouTube chat box. Also, I'm eventually probably going to be more careful with scheduling these and stuff. I just want to throw together a stream and get back into it. Maybe do more specific topics. Um, so let's see. I got Katya. She had another video out. Aaron Ra. This is a famous atheist YouTuber, but he's really great on evolution. He made this great video on the taxonomy of mammals and kind of how we got to where we are over like the last 200 million years. So Lovely video. Not really has anything to do with carnivory and whatnot, but I would love to have an interview with him someday or have a little debate about this. Okay, so carnivores. Early Europeans celebrated victory in war by eating their enemies' brains. Flake production. Ancient switch to soft food gave us an overbite and the ability to pronounce F's and V's. Okay, so one thing I'd like to do sometimes is open up my Keto Science and then add it to a database here. So let's try that. And first of all, let me check my Zotero on this Toro diet. I don't think I have it yet. I'm looking off screen at my Zotero here. Yeah, I don't. All right, cool. I can add it. So let me show you how I add things to my Zotero. So this is a PubMed, great place to add things. You can set up, you can log in and like add keyword hunting, kind of similar to the QXMD site I showed earlier. But this just shows the abstract and then usually a link to the full text. Open this up. You get this, and then you can still tell this is not the publisher site. So here we go to Frontiers. And actually, when we were clicking on that link, it was just opening up the PDF. So here I know I'm the only Redditor that's posted this. So this all metric like measures the popularity of science. Across the internet. So we've got X, which is most things, the news, PR web, and some French site, I guess. But Reddit is the only one. And it's me, Meatrition. Here's YouTube. So here's another good way if you want to find like channels or there's Dr. Tro and Metabolic Mind talking about this new paper. And then I guess I should add the link into my own show notes so that we get to help popularize it. But the 713 is pretty good. It's going to be pretty high. And we can see this whole abstract and whatnot. So then all I do is click this little button here. And it says saving to Keto Science database. And since it has this carnivore diet keyword, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna stuff it in my carnivore diet database. And let's see, so 41, 1 year. I guess later I'll add a remark. But we also have supplemental table 1 PDF. Let's see what this is. Ooh, supplemental material detailed prescriptions. Okay, so this is the cost they think they would have saved. Stopped and added. So this is the added column, mostly blank, just a few prescriptions, a few statins, 2 Manjaros. All right, sweet. But most of them stopped 1 or 2 of these drugs. Or I mean 1 or 2 of these or stopped taking. And then these are the total prices. So total saving per month of 9,000, total saving per year 111,000. Net savings average per person 1665. Total savings average per person $2,234. Or the total cost per year of 28,000. Okay. So that's pretty cool. Oops. Um So let's say I wanted to, well, I have this downloaded. Now I can drag it into my Zotero later. But I can close all these tabs. I have it in Zotero now, so I don't need to remember it anymore. I don't need to add it as a bookmark or something. It's also nice they have like this unique name toward, so it'll be easy to search. Um, okay, let's go back to this Read app. So I really like this because there's an iPhone app and I can use it and then just kind of when I have downtime or I'm like watching my son or something, um, or watching TV or in the car or whatever, I can check these. So linoleic is one of my favorite topics because it's like the key fatty acid in seed oils but it's used it's in all these plants and in all these seeds and it's used in all these industrial applications. So you really get a huge amount of science that you see in all sorts of different ways. It's also generally regarded as pretty healthy. So a lot of people are like, oh, we want to increase this amount in our random seeds that we're selling. So Chinese yam, like mechanism of fatty acid synthesis metabolism during the tuber swelling period of Chinese yam. So yeah, they basically want to increase like the linoleic amount. We're rich in unsaturated fatty acids. Yeah. Oh. So like I would go through these and be like, oh, maybe there's something interesting here, but not really. Um, I'm looking for its use in a certain seed oil or some targeted reformation of safflower oil. Omega-3 enrichment. How would they do this? They blend it with flaxseed oil, which has some ALA. Okay. Despite its recognized health potential, excessive consumption of pure safflower oil can lead to adverse outcomes. All right. I mean, Food Research International saying that safflower seed oil, rich in linoleic acid, has a high omega-6 to omega-3 ratio due to its negligible omega-3 content. So, and here they have this optimized safflower oil actually helps reduce body weight gain in mice. So this is actually perfect for my subreddit. Let's see. So additional links. Here's PubMed. And we're going to toss this guy into my seed oils folder. Seed oils. And then let's just post this to Reddit. Show you how I do that. I have a folder here on R. Submit to stop eating seed oils. This loads the URL right up here. Oh, it didn't work. Okay. And then here's a link. Science Direct never loads. Copy this. Paste it in here. Peer-reviewed science. Add. This is called Flare. Now the it's a way to re-find old things. So post. And here's our new post. I guess I should go through this subreddit. So this is stop eating seed oils. Um, created a bunch of changes here. There's new flair. So I added all these oils at the bottom. So safflower and the actual percentage of linoleic acid in each one. So now we have no excuse really to not know what these are. And there's a lot of posts we have on avocado oil, adulteration, what percentage, which one is best, or canola oil or peanut oil. So I expect some posts to use these kind of instead of using miscellaneous so much. If you have any RFK news or political news, I have MHHA, Make Humanity Healthy Again. I don't want to tie it directly just to America or the right wing movement or anything. Just kind of keep it above those clouds. Got seed oil disrespect meme and apologists and stuff. So another thing is the subreddit has. Let's see, go back. I added a sidebar that's a lot longer. So if you come over here, you can read this, the hook. Our increase in soybean went way up from 0.006% to 7.38%. Here's the explain it like I'm 5. Why limit linoleic acid? Do the math, key point. And then we have a list of seed oils. These are Hateful 8 down here. And then our list from worst to best, basically. Here's our avoidable animal fats. So these are ones like I actually wouldn't suggest people eat: large malts, chicken fat, duck fat, maybe eggs, decent oils, maybe eggs, maybe they are good. It's kind of up here. These are like the more fruit oils, 2 to 10 to 15% linoleic acid. Then our best oils: animal, dairy fats, tallow, butter, ghee, lamb fat. Is cultured oil. I'm not funded by them, but Zero Acre, I do have flair here at the subreddit for them because they're interesting. Some more important notes. These are some notes on consensus and about me. So I added all that extra text, and hopefully it helps people ask fewer introduction questions. But this subreddit, like my channel might be kind of carnivore diet based, but honestly, I'm open to talking about all these diets. Uh, a vegan keto diet that's low in seed oils is interesting if people do well on it. Like maybe it's not like the animal diet that's making carnivores feel better. I mean, it's the lack of seed oils and certain plant products that a vegan keto diet omits. We got top researchers. We got Tucker Goodrich, some other diet doctors, some other blogs. There's Petro, Dobro, Milskij guy is great. High fat nutrition. George Henderson. Links and blogs, some images. Oh, and then here we have our subreddit post flare. So you can click this, and then it will load. We'll put it in the URL, and it will load all the flare. So these are all our SOA seed oil apologists posts. And we can you come post these, you find a new article in the news that is saying like there's no reason to avoid seed oils. You can post it here and get some upvotes, instead of saying you're not saying that you agree with these people. You're saying these people are saying this, and let's keep track of it and understand their arguments and whatnot. Let's see. Seed oils are bad because they're highly processed, unnatural product. They generally have a high amount of linoleic acid, and they're prone to peroxidation reactions that damage our health. So most people don't think they're bad because they're just seeds, or that they have low smoke points, or most people don't think they're mostly good, great, or neutral. Um, I would say that having a high amount of linoleic acid and prone to peroxidation reactions are kind of like the two right answers. The highly processed unnatural product is kind of like a proxy for these, but not necessarily true. Um, but it's kind of like the metric I think most people like to stick to. Yeah, so it's mainly for 3 and 5, 3 and 5, 3 and 5. Um, so let's close some links up. Here, I posted here. So you can see how much Redditing I do. I have a subreddit called Keto4 that I made. I wanted to make like smaller subreddits that were really specific to using a single diet and then, or like a class of diets and then different diseases. So this is a list of all those subreddits. And I'm showing you again here in case you want this list. I guess I'll throw it in the chat. Not that anyone's really watching, but so we have our stop eating seed oils, sugar, grains, fruit and veg, fiber, soy. I even have one for meat, but it's a joke. These are some ones to make. Well, yeah, here, keto for diabetes, keto for type 1 diabetes, keto for obesity, keto for fatty liver, NAFLD, cancer, gout, heart disease, COVID, asthma, CKD, chronic kidney disease, GERD, heartburn, hospitals, Crohn's disease, UC, ulcerative colitis, irritable bowel syndrome, keto for Alzheimer's, migraine, nutritional psychiatry. This one's big. This is like 11,000. Keto for mental health, keto for MS, keto for epilepsy, keto for autism. Got some skin subreddits, keto for eczema, psoriasis, acne, hidradenitis, lymphatics, and Lyme. It's kind of also like autoimmune, kind of in between there. Jorma says, I love dietitian said what now? So it's so quiet. I mean, yeah, it's basically just me posting there. So it's kind of like my subreddit where I can point out what dietitians say that's wrong and bad and strange. But I mean, I like you need to help me out, Jorma. Like I subscribe to our dietetics, this one here, and you find tons of interesting stuff here, but you also have to find like people talking about dietitians outside of this and then like what they said to them. But this subreddit is just full of people complaining about, why did I become a dietitian? They talk about the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. They rant about the RD exam. So they need like a score of 25 or something to pass this out of 30. And but the questions are like kind of BS and are all sorts of like how to like use microwave equipment and food and stuff. And I don't want to strawman them too bad, but it's not like biochemical, medical nutrition science. It's more mechanics and stuff. Um, so I'm banned from the subreddit. I can't post, but you can still subscribe. You can see what they're talking about. You can copy images. You can take a screenshot or whatever, and or find other content. But um, this also lets me talk about Phoenix dietitians. So when really interesting dietitians are recommending like keto and carnivore, low carb, then I get to talk about them here. So here's a new chapter in the UK dietetics book, which will normalize low carb diets for obesity and diabetes. It's called the Manual of Dietetic Practice. And this year, this guy has a new chapter for low carb diet. So now dietitians might start putting this together, and we'll get some better support from them. But until then, it's I'm saying I'm posting what they're writing and kind of debunking them or just putting them in front of your eyes so you know like we disagree. If you did a vegan diet ever and you are now on a carnivore diet, you can join this subreddit. 168 members. Um, Here's a subreddit I helped design. I put that image in, and I put a lot of the wiki info and stuff over here, and I made all the flair. So this ex-vegan subreddit is great. Help people cope with eating meat again. I changed my username image too recently to this figure. This is actually AI that I asked to make like a t-shirt for my design, like design a t-shirt, and this just looks like me. It looks perfect. Has a nice ribeye and good design. So I'm like, you know what? That's it. I haven't liked a lot of my icons I've had so far. So whether it's like a bunch of cows and or like a hunter or something or mammoths, I might try and make that my new unique icon. I mean, other subreddits like Red Meat Science, Red Meat Politics, like I need people to join these and post to them. And, it's tough for me to be like, oh, there's that one new science post on X. And then I need to post it to 5 different subreddits because the topics intersect in a lot of ways. Like this Peter Ballerstedt guy posts great Ruminati stuff. Paul Saladino is like seed oils and ex carnivore. Um, Fracture risk in vegetarians and vegans. This is a great way I keep track of science. I have a lot of people that uh, usually post science links, and then I check my notifications every day or hour even. And then you get links like right here. And you get to repost them and make sure your subreddits have like these old links that, yeah, we got this new vegan diet. But I don't know, it's been kind of slow few days. What am I doing here? All right, it's probably live somewhere in some other tab. Oh, we were posting this, right? Oh no, we did post it. And we added it to seed oil, so it couldn't find the full text PDF. That's okay. Let's close those guys up. And this is our Reddit link about intermittent fasting versus continuous caloric restriction. A traditional review. These look like Indian authors. Hmm, okay. I'm never sure to add whether I want to care too much about intermittent fasting. Um, so yeah, you can just go to this Keto 4 subreddit and find this whole link. You can also add comments and say like, please make this one. There's more I wanted to make, like one for arthritis, TBI, Hashimoto's, ALS and Parkinson's, bipolar and schizophrenia and BPD and OCD. It is kind of like all under nutritional psychiatry. Um, but people have some other lists out there. All right. Oh, here we have this list. See if we have anything interesting to add to Zotero. Um, Not too many interesting things. Study uncovers how. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Dulling the sweet tooth. Yes, here we should talk about this. This is basically bipolar pilot study. Uh, Someone's talking about how this Bazuski group was started for their son's bipolar, and he went on a basically a keto diet. But they are actually running RCTs now. They're doing huge funding. This group is Roblox. The father, I guess, invented Roblox, so they made tons of money, and they have like lots of. If you're an MD or PhD, you can apply for funding from them, and they are doing nutritional science grants and stuff. I'd love to work for them, actually. So I think I might have added this already to my Zotero. Let's see. Pilot study. Maybe I didn't. Okay. Let's go. Yeah, let's do nutritional psychiatry. So, uh, do ketogenic diet, and we're gonna go to this one. And did I catch that? We want ketogenic diet, nutritional psychiatry. Done. Um, okay, cool. So let's see. Get rid of these now. Dulling the sweet tooth. gut microbe that is reduced in diabetes produces a metabolite that dulls the appetite for sugar. Okay. Bacteroides vulgatus. Huh. Okay, that's pretty cool. Some potential there. Always looking for ways that like the gut microbiome like actually matters. So free fatty acid receptor 4 FR4 influences food preferences because it increases insulin release by stimulating enteroendocrine cells to secrete the peptide hormone GLP-1. Dang et al. Found that FR4 expression negatively correlated with a preference for sweets and was reduced in patients with diabetes relative to healthy controls. Okay. We can add it. Just the general keto science database. That's good. Okay, be gone. What else we have? Ooh, PCOS. Ketogenic. All right, perfect. So right away, I'm going to cross post this. So we're going to share, cross post. And I have a keto for PCOS subreddit. We have 413 members here. And we have rudimentary flag here. So I need to add science flair for this. But I mean, hey, if you're a keto carnivore PCOS sufferer who wants to help me moderate this subreddit, let me know. All my subreddits could use more mods that people like looking up PCOS every day, making sure all the science goes here, and grabbing PCOS anecdotes all across Reddit. You can search today. Help with PCOS. My GP is useless. Just got diagnosed, 27 years old. For any 13-year-olds managing PCOS. Ugh. So I think there's so many stories on Reddit and other forums, but generally like the barrier to entry to making a forum is very small, as you can see on my subreddits. So once AI starts figuring out like, wow, all these people are suffering, and then like what are they doing that's actually helping them? Is it dietary changes like I'm suggesting, or is it some random drug or some habit that these people are trying out? And I know there's even like other websites and companies that are built around that idea of just having like a group of users trying out different experiments. But, like it would be amazing if I could get, invite all these people to my subreddit and say, everyone should try this diet or something. All right. So let's see. Do we have this open? Yep. So now I can try and add this to my PCOS folder, which is. So I have diseases here, but then I also have like diet for diseases. So keto diet for PCOS. Boom. Yep. Off screen in my Zotero, you can see it like popping up. Where are you linking this stuff? Oh, nice. Hey, Aaron Ash, Keto Carnivore cured my depression. Great to have you. Um, yeah, awesome. That's where are you linking this stuff? Meatrition subreddit. So like I post on many different subreddits. I mean, you could probably follow me, Meatrition. My Meatrition subreddit is kind of small. It's kind of like the best of the best for stuff that I post, or maybe it'll be more for like posting these YouTube streams and stuff. Um, but it's kind of like topic dependent. So if you care about ethnography and like old hunting and paleoanthropology, you want to be in this subreddit. If you have one of the particular diseases, um, or you're avoiding a particular food, you would join one of the stop eating ones or one of the keto for autism or whatever, keto for gout. Um, and then you post your own stories there. If you like, Aaron, if you'd like, come post your story to Nutritional Psychiatry, which is the subreddit, which has a nice big stake in it. Got it right here. Nutritional Psychiatry. So throw on a post. You could even do like an Ask Me Anything or something. I cured depression with keto carnivore. You know, and you can give back. You could do it tomorrow or something. Make a little selfie of your grinning, happy Aryan face. Uh, yeah. I'm on the mobile right now, so it's a bit clunky right now. Yeah, I can see. But yeah, if you check out this our Keto 4 subreddit, you can see a list of all the subreddits I run. And then a lot of my big subreddits like Stop Eating Seed Oils and Keto Science will have a list of subreddits in the sidebar. Like this. Let's see, where are they? Oh my god, I don't have any here. Where are they? Oh no, wait. Sister Health subreddits. Keto Science, Stop Eating Sugar. These are all the stop eating ones. Here's zero carb and carnivore diet. Those are carnivore diets. And then here's Keto 4. I believe I'm on the Meatrition subreddit. All right, great. Since I don't post everything there, like you should subscribe to a few more of these. Like the Keto Science, and like you would want to be on Nutritional Psychiatry. Uh And geez, man, like if I start doing this YouTube thing, I could have you guys come in. You could join in and say hi on the stream. I guess I can even allow people. Should I try that? Would you want to do that? Nah. But yeah, we could add people to join the stream. Yeah, I can copy an invite link. Let's see. Okay, there's an invite link. If you want to join, try it. Oh, there's my cat Chiefy. He just. Oh no, it's Chiefy. I just joined Keto 4. Yeah, okay. And there's just one post there in Keto 4, and then you can just click on each one and subscribe to them. Yeah, check it later. I mean, you don't have to be in all of them, and most of them won't have posts really very often, but like Keto Science, Stop Eating Seed Oils, they're kind of like the fun ones. All right, let's see. Where are we? Oh, here's a new doctor I just found. Someone else posted him on saturated fat. Doctor. Uh, okay, not what I wanted to do. Open this. There we go. But he had a nice video on omega 6 and 3. Come on, man. Did it happen after I invited like a guest or something? No, now it's on. Weird. What's up? Thanks, Aaron. Let's see. So, like, I have multiple speakers. I get I'm not talking enough, so I don't know. Okay, yeah, the Yeti's working. Cool. Okay, let's see. Let's pause this guy. Wait, I want to make sure I can still hear myself. Yes. Okay. Good. Okay. Let's go back. So let's share Zotero now, and let's see what's going on there. Okay. Open Sesame. Unable to share the screen. I don't know what's happening. Here it is. Here it is. Yay. Okay. I can maximize. Goodbye, me. So this is my Zotero. This is what grad students use to keep track of their science and help write papers. Um, so I have a ton of folders in here, and I probably have the largest public database that I found. I know other people have some Zotero databases, other researchers and stuff, but they kind of keep them private, and I do not care. I want to show everyone this. Maybe it's valuable. I haven't found a way to monetize it, so unless you buy a bunch of my shirts or something, um, as a way to say thanks. I've made this available because this is just all on a website. But let's see. So carnivore diet. I added this thing to Zotero where you can add remarks. So I thought we should add some, and date added. So let's see, there's a way to pop this out. Yeah. Here we go. So we say, oops. We're gonna write 1 year keto study. 41 patients has carnivore diet keyword. Great improvements and less drugs. Dr. Tro. Let's stick that there, and boom, we get this nice little remark. So here's that article I posted. Let's see, Daily Mail article on 300-pound weight loss. Experts expose the carnivore diet as a scam. Oh, actually, yeah, this is a good link because it's like a list of every every vegan saying the carnivore diet or every dietitian saying it's a bad diet, like in a list. So, um, huge list of anti-carnivore dietitians and vegans. All right. I did a few of these. If you haven't seen them before, subjective experiences and blood parameter changes of individuals from Germany following a self prescribed carnivore diet. This is N equals 23, just came out. The gut microbiome without any plant food. Yes. Um, so there are no differences between the single carnivore and the controls. Framework for adequate nourishment, etc., etc., etc. Okay, let's do this. Late Ice Age encounter. This is like some hunting episode. Mammoths. Let's say Clovis mammoth hunting. Oops. Okay, so this one is about a highly encephalized fish. So large range carnivore fish also have smaller guts, supporting expensive tissue hypo. And this is really old. I think it's 2003. So I don't know if many people talking about it, but I think I found it as like a reference. Okay, yeah, this is that great review article I talked about. Review on microbiome. Kind of makes case that carnivore keto could be natural. Let's say that maybe a bit. Deep coalescent history of the hominin lineage. We extend the scope of such interference or inference by reanalyzing an ancient peak seen in human and chimpanzee effective population size around 7 million years ago. Uh, TLDR. Mm, helps establish LCA between humans and chimps or something. An ancient ecospecies of Helicobacter pylori. Yeah, so this is my Zotero database, Ash or Aaron. So he's saying, what are we looking at? This is your private database or another way to review Reddit links. What kind of database is it? So this is called Zotero. It's a free app on desktop and web with you can get you can store data in it, like papers. So you see these little icons over here. If I double click this, it will open up this PDF. So it's basically just a PDF storage app. Yeah, but it also links up with Word so that you can say, I want to enter this reference into my Word paper, my essay, or my like review paper or whatever, and then say this is a reference back to this page or this thing. But Let me also get you the link. Um, Copy and paste. Okay, so show this. So if you click this link, yes, it's a link. You can see your own view of my database, and you can browse it. Um, and it literally has all the science I've been able to find on keto and carnivore diets, like over like the last 5 years. Made this in March of 2020, so it's about 5 years exactly. I made this with Siobhan Huggins, if you know her. Um, but I've probably done like the vast majority of the work on it since, and I pay for like the yearly subscription for unlimited storage and stuff. But I also have a bunch of plugins. This this Zotero is like honestly amazing. Um, you can't see the settings and stuff, but there's all these plugins you can download and kind of new ways to integrate it with AI. But yeah, Aaron says this is just what I'm looking for. Yep. You know, the day I found Zotero, I had the thought of, you know what? It's such a pain to keep track of all the science in like an Excel or a list or whatever people use. There must be an app that people built to keep track of it all. And I made that Google search, and boom, I came across a bunch of apps. There's one called Mendeley, and then this one is called Zotero. And it's just like life changing because now every science paper you find, you can just quickly add to your database using that little button in your Chrome that I was clicking, and you just stick it in a folder, and then boom, you can keep track of it. You can tag it, add documents. You can highlight parts in your document, and then you can enter those notes into like a Word document. So you can write a whole book basically. And my database is basically the start of a possible book. So let's see, an ancient ecospecies of pylori. Now, this extra, I think this TLDR is actually coming in from AI. I'm not sure. Yeah, so analysis of polymorphism data implies that hardy and ubiquitous, these are types of these strains of bacteria, coexist in the stomachs of modern humans since before we left Africa, and that both were dispersed around the world by our migrations. And the cool thing about this is like they're basically carnivore strains. All right, so pylori bacterial strains show evidence of facultative carnivory in ancient African humans. Um, you can see that's a little bug there. It's not like pushing down the rest of the column, but once I refresh it, it pops up. So, oh, yeah, it pops up there. So let's see. Gut microbiome without any plant food. Oh, so this is actually a repeat of this one. Yeah. A lot of times I get them a few times. There's also duplication tools that help you find when your studies are duplicated, which happen all the time. Um, and then this one is a repeat too, right? Jonathan Scholl. Yeah. So I could like move this item to trash. Now, this is the paper. This is actually this carnivore one up here. Boom. So you can see I've got my full text PDF, and this German article, which I like grabbed on LinkedIn or something. And then there's also a ResearchGate link. And even this abstract, I think I added this. Yeah, I added this because it didn't have its own abstract. Um, but here's just a study on 23 carnivore dieters in Germany, basically the exact same kind of results as the big Harvard study. So when you query carnivores, they seem to do really well. Um, if we roll it out to everyone, we still don't know really how useful it is. All right, so here's complete remission of depression and anxiety using a ketogenic diet case series. So this is perfect for Aaron. Kind of describes his experience. So this is 3 adults. Animal-based ketogenic metabolic theory 1.5. Yeah, so this is pretty huge. So complete remission of major depression and anxiety within 12 weeks. Okay, so remark keto, carnivore, reversed depression and anxiety in 3 people within 3 months. All right, boom. Got that remark in. Meat products and human nutrition and health. I thought this might be a good way to strongman kind of the anti-meat side. Um, how how strong is anti-meat science? So yeah, I don't think this is very strong. It's like TMAO and unprocessed red meat. I think if there's actually an issue, it would be in the fatty acid uh, distribution, like the linoleic acid content in chicken or something. Um, and I mean, I could also be opening up all these and like really reading the PDF, but I'm just trying to go through quick here. Let's delete this one. So another thing is like you can see like the last name is right here, and then it's like wrong. And the other one I made, sorry, where'd that go? Yeah, Andrija Karasik. Let's see if this just has the full text. And this one has a snapshot too. So I guess I'll delete this. Move item to trash. Now, actually, I think I added this name custom, so this might be best to combine these two. I can do that later. Let's see. So, carnivore diet as regenerative immunotherapy for inflammatory bowel disease, IBD. Okay, so IBD uh, hypothesis and experimental design for carnivore diet. Cool. So How did the list get compiled? So Aaron's asking a good question here. Um, you know how everyone always says like, well, where's the science on the carnivore diet? Like I'm the one keeping track. So all these posts on Reddit and stuff, as I'm on like certain science websites, I'm like going through the articles and I'm saying like, oh wow, this applies to the carnivore diet. So I'm actually clicking the physical buttons myself and adding them to this folder. But you can see all these folders here and they all have different science that relates to different parts of it. So this folder is like supposed to be on like 100% carnivore diet kind of science, like plant-free keto diets and stuff, or just people talking about carnivore diet. So this is like real science. This Leaf Garrett guy. And I'm like not sharing my Chrome tab, but if I double click this, I could open up the article and show you like the link. But this is basically just my database of science on different nutrition topics. And this is like I don't know, a science article. Let's see where did this go? Journal article. Boom. So now that should change that little text icon. Let's see, does it? Yeah. So it used to be a book and now it's like a proper article. I don't know what's this. It's like call it a diet containing animal source protein as fresh, lean beef is more well liked and promotes healthier eating behavior compared with plant-based alternatives in women with overweight. Okay, people like steak. Um, Here's a case report from Nick. Okay, great. So, carnivore treats 10 with IBD, Norwitz study. I guess I can also star those with a rating. That's cool. But yeah, this like the link I have in there for the Zotero group. This link, like anyone can see it, and anyone can see the list. I just don't think they can see the PDFs in it. But you could basically be aware that all the science exists. And I have this link on Reddit and my website and stuff too. So it's not like the first time I've ever shared it, but not a lot of people know it exists or how much actual science is on the carnivore diet. Because look at this, like this is from these dates here are from 1930. This is a carnivore study, 1930, 1928. So, it's been out for 100 years. Really good science on all meat diets. It's just people assume that there isn't. And what is true is that we haven't put like a large group of people on an all meat diet and then see like, oh, 80% can do it, 20% get like irreversible digestive issues that end badly, something like that. Like we can't say that. We don't know what percentage of people do well. We want to maybe say that there's like a high percentage, or maybe like if you're sick but you don't have like a gallbladder disease or some other issue. All right, Aaron has another question here. So if I can't use the links, but I could Google the titles to find what interests me. Yes, you can even like if you go to Keto Science Database on Reddit, you can join my group and even add sources yourself and see the PDFs, I think, if you're inside the group. And I think 10 or so people have done that and are in the group, and no one has ever added any science. So I almost don't even tell anyone anymore, but it's an option if you want to. I can approve you as a member and you can see it. Maybe you could help me like sort this database or add tags and stuff, but it's also kind of a problem because I can't always trust everyone will make the right decisions with a full database. Um, and I also use the database as like to help write papers and stuff. So there's actually like this fatty acid beef. I used a lot of these for my thesis. Soil. So there's tons of papers in here. Seed oils has 888. Insane. And then it's split up more. There's ones just on 4-H&E and acrylamide and this Alzheimer's hypothesis, peroxidation and oxidative stress. So yeah, I mean, you could search up the links yourself. I mean, if you want to see what it looks like. Oh, well, then I have to switch my tab. So yeah, it's basically just like this, but there's like a web view. Um, but yeah, I mean, if you find any link out there on the internet, any science link or any other link, you can save it to your Zotero using that little button. So it doesn't have to be a journal article. It's just what most people put in because then you can cite them, right? So, um, I mean, you could basically put Reddit posts in and say you could like say you're gonna write an essay on Reddit posts and then tag a bunch of Reddit posts in your Zotero database. Let's go back through here, make sure. Oh yeah, this is a review that briefly mentions carnivore diet. Review briefly mentions carnivore diet for Huntington's disease. So Aaron says, I've mainly been researching and doing amateur spreadsheets on FAO stat data and longevity in a keto carnivore vein, as well as haphazard research on studies. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. You can probably use a lot of AI there with FAO stat data. I put some of that data into a graphing program. You look persistent. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of projects. I mean, this is just one of many. But yeah, like making your own data and stuff and publishing that, it's definitely much harder. I mean, you can do pretty informal stuff too. Just post in any of my subreddits that you think apply, but um, you can like write your own little blog post about how you interpret science and share it to my Reddit members. So here's Mickey Bendor, a matter of fact. So humans preferred hunting high fat megafauna for carnivore diets. Let's see. Meet the men who only eat meat. New York Times. Okay. Um. Oh, so this is Angela Stanton. So she's in the keto carnivore community as a MD, doctor, PhD, or something. So yeah, carnivore diet can prevent migraine. She actually has migraines, so she has like really good good guides on that. And then there's also a keto for migraine subreddit with a lot of her information there. So studies with an Eskimo diet of essential fatty acids. And that's old. That's from 1981, so that's good. Let's see. Understanding the gut microbiota by considering human evolution. Story of fire, cereals cooking, molecular ingenuity, and functional cooperation. I don't know if I remember this one. Yeah. Heavily influenced by the consumption of nutrient dense non tree diet. Yeah, so I think I do remember it's like kind of bad arguments saying humans depended on plants through evolution. Um. Oh, okay. So Aaron will be joining the Zotero. You mean? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Um. Yeah. I mean, you can also basically just direct message me links and or like post in the subreddits and tag me in them and be like, make sure you know this. So this PKD carnivore diet good for. So there's a low C peptide, meaning you're making very little insulin in non T1DM patients. So uh, lowers C peptide levels. Kind of just generally. Um, Metabolic messengers, ketone bodies. So a fun way that carnivore diet kind of combines with keto is like through these ketone bodies. So it is pretty useful understanding how they work. Uh, so let's just say carnivore diet derived ketone bodies act as metabolic messengers. Okay, boom, it's in. So here's ALS. Review on ALS covers carnivore diet. Um, Feed in. Sorry. Yeah. See, I think I have this paper open or one of his other ones, but oh, here's the dementia one. Yeah. So it's nice. Like I have see these notes on the left here, so you can like highlight a section and then add like a certain color. And then it pops up over here, and then you can like insert this into like something else, a database or a website. Uh, More like a paper. So here's basically all the parts of the paper talking about carnivore, and I can just stick them all over here and see them all. Um, So it has been suggested that the carnivore diet contains fiber and other essential nutrients. Huh? I don't think that's true. However, long-term effects of the carnivore diet meeting essential. Oh, okay. So this is Amber's diet uh, science, but I think it basically says the opposite. More that the carnivore diet doesn't require fiber or has like different types of animal fiber. So high levels of meat and fish consumption have been associated with diminished bowel movement frequencies. So it's like they just throw this in like it has no bearing on carnivore diet because it's still like high levels. It's like 30% versus 25%. And then they quote this carnivore study that we did. So I actually have on there's a website called ResearchGate, and I put this study in here, even though I'm not like a first author on it. And then I get notifications anytime someone quotes this study or cites it. So, and I get a notification that someone cited this study, and then I get to see like how is carnivore diet popping up. So that's another way to keep track if you don't want to use that QXMD website, or just like a PubMed search RSS feed or something like that. And then a lot of this ketogenic diet stuff is also applies to the carnivore diet. So even though it might not be like explicit, so the carnivore diet shows mixed results. I mean, they just basically found random meat diet and then said it's bad. So it shows good results. And you can find another study that makes meat sound bad and then make it seem more mixed. Um, I think this lab basically just did a whole bunch of reviews and wrote a whole bunch of papers, and then all the diets just popped up in all of them. Um, Here, let's let me say hi again. So it's been 2.5 hours. Still haven't eaten a thing today. Um, You're gonna love this one. Opportunities for maximizing the dietary quality of fad diets. Oh, the definition of fad diet was created. Total HEI scores range from 26 for carnivore to 89 for low FODMAP. Ugh. I mean, so these healthy eating index metrics here, HEI, is just such total BS, and it's just super about like eating plants and veggies and low red meat and everything, and low saturated fat. So they get like this artificial number that makes carnivore diet seem terrible, but you're eating zero junk food on this diet, and somehow that gets like no help. So um, you can make any diet sound awful. Yeah, that's a good point. Constipation is a strange point. Confuse lack of stool for constipation. I mean, I have heard some issues of constipation, but then again, people are like, other times it's like they're just not pooping as often as they're used to, and then they think they're constipated. So let's see. Biased anti-carnivore HEI score. Um, the relations between a carnivorous diet and mammalian infections with intestinal protozoa. This one's gonna be old. 1924. Haha. um, all right, this one doesn't open up. See, there's no article here. So this opened a web page, and it's about the effects of a carnivorous diet on rats. Be nice if I could download this. So I just took a screenshot of it. Let's just stick it in here. So you see the screenshot, and this is the first paper from the web. Um, Effects of a carnivorous diet on rats. Let's just say that. So, of carnivorous diet on rats. and it seems like it's only like a week. So, 1 week. A big problem with all this old science is it's like tough to find. Um, you have to subscribe to it. You need to like the text is like more of a copy of a bad PDF, and it's not like real text that can be searched. Um, so you have to then like turn the image file into like the text. Um, let's see, this is on intestinal permeability. We get this term a lot in carnivore. Here's one on Greenlandic Inuit. Um, oh, okay. So here's something I put in my database. George Alley, 1808. Look at this. History of a case of diabetes mellitus successfully treated by animal diet. So, Alley uses carnivore diet to reverse diabetes. One problem is like you don't really know if it's type 1 or type 2 since it helps both. It's better to just say diabetes and like claim it's 1 or 2. Telegraph article on carnivore diet. Here's the anorexia. So in carnivore versus anorexia in n equals 3. And this is also a Norwich study. Yep, here's some FAO knowledge. Livestock species. DRIs. Here's Tim Noakes. All right, so I have more work to do. I probably won't bore you with the rest of those. These 1931s are actually studied Vilgemar Stephenson. So, let's see. Exactly my experience when his friend tried to go carnivore. They didn't poo as much for 2 days and quit because constipation. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, how do we manage expectations? You're eating far less waste products. You're actually digesting it. I think I might have a fiber study that could be in here. Basically says 1978 study. Where is that? Uh, but it's also like if you remember that one little thing about some study, like the data came out in or something, and you have like a database of all the science you ever looked at. It can help you like find that reference again. Let's see if I can remember this one. Yeah, bingo. Affects of high and low fiber diets on human feces. Uh, and let's see. I don't. What do we have here? Yeah, there's just like this one little bit. Stool weight during ingestion of a low fiber diet averaged 51 grams per day. Subjects had an average of 1 bowel movement every 33 hours, and the mean transit rate was 48 hours. When subjects consumed the increased fiber diet, values were 157, 19, and 12 hours. And then measurements of fecal protein, fat, carbohydrate, and calories from a low fiber diet were less than half those observed when the increased fiber diet was consumed. So the increased fiber uh, doubled the amount of protein, fat, and carb that you weren't absorbing. So, like, it's like you absorb far less food when you're eating plants. It's just amazing. Science right there. I mean, I can't find the full context of this paper. It's actually from the Dietetics Association. So they were probably trying to say like this is really bad, but maybe it's good. And you can see it. This doesn't act as a normal website because they just copy the HTML. So it's basically just text, but it's not like actual live links. Oh, this actually did work, but it opened up like my browser outside of this. But that worked because it's still a working link. So I almost might put this in my carnivore diet. Why not? Because I've kind of wanted it to be there originally. So let's see. And remark. Oops. Um, Here we go. Okay, so low fiber diet, less waste, and what exactly do we want to say? Less waste and more absorption and high fiber. All right, great. Maybe we can look at the seed oil ones I've added recently. Um, yeah, so date added. So this is basically what I've added in the last couple or 2 months, 3 months, 2 months. Oh, see here, this came in for seed oils, even though it probably doesn't apply. So I wanted this in like the nutritional psychiatry one, I think. Yeah. So you can also drag and drop stuff here. You can see I've got this folder, ketogenic diet, yes, nutritional psychiatry, and drop it in there. And now it has 22 articles, so I can delete it out of here. Remove item from collection. Okay, so here's this targeted reformation of safflower oil. Sorry, we looked at that earlier, and it made this funny quote: "Excessive consumption of pure safflower oil can lead to adverse outcomes." Like, yeah, no, shit, Sherlock. Here's a paper that talks about cold pressing seed oils, and they're actually worse. They have more peroxidation. Um, oh, this one I think is talking about linoleic acid causing acne. Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Furthermore, side chain analysis show that the ratio of linoleic acid to linolenic, which is alpha A linolenic acid, so this is La to ALA or N3 to N6 to N3, sorry, in acne patients' skin surface lipids was higher than in healthy controls. So boom, we've got a difference in N6 and N3 compared to healthy controls. So I mean, it doesn't actually say seed oils are involved, but that's that's a big marker that something is going on there. Um, Here's Zoe and misinformation about seed oils. So, guys, this is just a blog. It's not an actual paper here. Um, Aaron, I'll get to your comments in a bit, but yeah, it's like so. Zoe posted this, and you can see it's like a URL to this, um, and this opens up another link that you can't see, but this goes over this review of Sarah Berry's Zoe presentation that seed oils are good for you. And it seems pretty clear that they're just taking money from, I think it's Unilever through King's College in London. And then they're saying, like, you need to eat seed oils, basically. Um, Basically, just moneyed interest saying they're healthy. So here's analysis of the generation of harmful aldehydes in edible oils during sunlight exposure and deep frying using high field proton nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy. Yeah, so they heat up oil and they just leave it in direct sunlight for 3 or 8 hours. I actually, let's see, I went through this study and what is it? Price? Yeah. This one. So I was actually thinking doing like a video just on this one paper because it talks a lot about different. Well, I don't know. It's just it would be nice to have particular videos on one paper at a time instead of a huge bunch over 3 hours. But look, I did all this math. I've got the omega balance here, 1.45 in the sunflower oil. See the omega 3 and then the linoleic here. Oh, and they show these graphs that show the individual fatty acids are these little peaks, and they say, oh, this B um, stands for, well, I don't know, but there will be linoleic and linolenic and oleic and stearic and whatnot. Um, all oil showed significant generation of alkanols. See a little higher in the sunflower oil compared to the olive oil. So yeah, ton of stuff in here. I mean, you can also see how nice it would be to for me to go through a study with all these highlights, and you can see like, oh, and then what was that one I had about chicken nuggets? So that's how that works. I'll probably do a video on that. I've just been too busy. Want to just do a big collection of everything. Here's this EKODE lipid peroxidation products. Um, it's like a way to detect oxidation reactions, inflammation. We produce polyclonal antibodies of a stable epitope of the E code based ALE and use these antibodies to investigate an approach for in vivo monitoring of inflammatory disease progression. Okay. Uh, Fumoninsins. So these are like a mycotoxin, I think. Mycotoxins is how statins work. So I could do a whole video on statins someday. But they also, I guess, interact with these oxylipins and fatty acids from PUFAs. A total of 96 oxylipins derived from 7 polyunsaturated fatty acids via the Cox, LOX, and P450 pathways were measured using this crazy expensive machine, probably $1 million. Uh, and show greater increases. These results show strong effects of fumonisins on OLs in the liver and brain. So something's going on. Hard to understand what. Um, but I find like I have like this 4-H&E like thing in like QXMD app to search for keywords. So I see all sorts of new science every day that like I don't really understand. Lots of biochemistry and stuff. So it's kind of like it's not really saying seed oils, you know, in the conclusion are toxic or something. You kind of have to make that leap yourself and understand um, really what's going on here. Um, yeah, let's see. Aaron's is talking about how bowels are trying to get rid of fiber quicker at the expense of nutrient absorbed. Uh-huh. And that on carnivore, you generally just need to go to use the loo less. Sticky. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. I mean, Aaron, I would love to do a study one day and just look at people's poo or have an AI do it so we don't have to do it. But um, I think there are interesting insights in there, like the protein to fat ratio or different spices or different salts or how you drink liquid with your meal or something. All that could cause like differences to your poop. But like if you had a very basic like beef only diet, you could actually experiment and see what happens or like why you get changes. I have a kid now too, and I'm changing his diapers. So I'm like, wow, it's like orange today, and it's like a solid lump the next. It's like what did he eat to cause those differences in his poo, and how far back do I have to think? Is it like a day and a half to what he ate like 2 days ago? Um, yeah, that Zoe stuff was well annoying. Yeah. Well, it seems like these companies are making money by trying to change minds and keep minds from being changed back through us. Um, but yeah, I mean, there's so much science to go through. I think that's enough for today. Let me figure out what else I wanted to talk about. So, yeah, I have these. Let me end this screen share. So I have this new Etsy store, and you can buy some shirts to support me on it. You can also buy me a coffee. That's a like a little website that you can like send a few bucks to someone. Um, and I'm trying to make this content thing kind of take off. Not really. I mean, we'll see what happens. But I feel like no one is really doing like the all the science that's coming out every day. Like Nick Norris has these great videos. He's making getting tons of views. So I probably have to emulate a lot of what he does. But he does like one study, maybe two, over 10 to 12 minutes a day or per video, and then that's getting really popular. So kind of probably have to emulate that and do a lot more editing and video management and stuff. It'd be great to make a single video about every new paper and then even interview scientists that work on it and say like, what are you really trying to talk about? And I feel like I know all the influencers in the space. Like I can recognize their voice and be like, oh man, I've heard this story a million times. I've heard this anecdote. um I know this doctor, like, so it's like, do I want to provide all that same information, kind of like the carnivore anecdotes and inspiring stuff, or do I want to say like, there's all this science out there and all this old history that no one really knows about, and talk about that. And then also talk about to some of these new scientists that are kind of have, seed oil science or fiber, whatever, kind of next to like carnivore adjacent science, I guess, that we're all interested in. Um, so yeah, let's see. I've been streaming for almost 3 hours soon. So I have 136 views. Three on YouTube and 133 on X, but no comments on X. Wonder how the views actually just work out. Oh, actually, one of my videos, or I had an interview with Dr. Philip Ovadia, which might be coming out this month. Um, hmm. All right, I think I'm gonna end. So please subscribe. Just kind of tracking how many views and subscribers I get on each video. I read all your comments. If you're a common Redditor who posts a lot on Reddit, drop your username there in the comments here so I know who you are. And Aaron says, let's see. I think you have a good voice for video. It would be good to get your thoughts together and hear them. And audio feedback is that your volume goes up and down as you move back and forth from the mic. Yes, I agree. Actually, Aaron, I'm gonna let's see this button. Okay, Aaron, did my audio just change? There's like a cone view, like a cone, and then like a direct view, I think. So I just clicked a button that changed it. Sorry for atrocious spelling, and it's late here. Well, enjoy looking at your research. Hope to see more videos from you. All right, fantastic. I will try and make more. Back from vacation. I've got lots of free time now. All right, so like and subscribe. I notice when you say subscribe, the YouTube button on the subscribe will like do a little zing around. So AI is probably hearing me say the word subscribe and then highlighting your eyes to that button. So amazing what we can do with technology now. I will try and work on my mic situation, or make sure that if I do a short form video, it's close or it's better, and I can also maybe use better mics and stuff. It's tough for me to like zoom in here, but my screen is like this big, and then when I talk this way, it's different. Is my audio better, Aaron? Does it sound better? Like if I'm talking this way on my left and on my right. Um, yeah, that cone thing. I used to do a bunch of experimentation on this with podcasts, and it's crazy the difference. But it doesn't tell me easily like which one it's using. So um, audio quality seems more treble. Can't tell yet if it's more stable. Okay, yeah. I think it's just like the cone of voice or whatever. But maybe I just need to get like a mount so I can just go like this. But then this is really loud. Then I can whisper more and do more ASMR stuff. Yeah, does that sound good? Okay, great. That's all for me. I'm gonna throw some links in the description here. If you are following along and didn't understand the chat, you can look at the chat on replay. Pick up one of my shirts on Etsy. Let me see, where's my shop here? Oh, the quality's worse? Okay. Okay. Do you prefer this sound now? Now I'm using the old previous sound. Quality is worse. Okay, so maybe it like spreads out the cone and then doesn't sound as good. Yeah, that sound seems to be the podcast way. Okay. So you prefer this previous setting, right? Yeah. Much. Okay, good. We'll have to make sure I don't click that. But then when I'm talking over here, it doesn't sound good, right? Or if I'm like beaming off sound that way. Yeah, my neck is also hurting. I'm also like raising my shoulder for some reason because my whole screen's like that way. Um, cool. Well, thanks for hanging out, Aaron. Uh, I used to have a friend named Asher. You ever met an Asher? Um, cool. Let's see. So we're just over 3 hours. I think that's enough for me. Gonna figure out lunch and yeah, have a good day, everyone. I'll see you on Reddit. Hit me up in the comments. Give your feedback. Previous sound was bassier, and the second was more treble. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, maybe I should just have my audio on in the background and hear my voice, but then I can't think, can't do anything then. All right, cool. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, everyone else, for tuning in, and I will see you guys later. I'm really bad with buys, so I just keep repeating myself over and over. Bye. Thanks.